Hello, hello, and welcome back to the On the Real with Andrew podcast, where me and my revolving group of friends discuss any and everything in the world of film and TV. I'm your host, Andrew Washington, and joining me today for the first time in a
I
minute,
know it has been a while.
Vivian.
Hi. Hello, hello, hello.
Oh my God, it's been what was the last episode you were on? Oh my
Oh
goodness,
gosh.
was it the Sundance? Was
Oh
it
my god.
Sundance?
It might have been, which that was years and years and years ago, it feels like.
Yeah,
Wow.
almost like a full year ago at this point.
Yeah, we must
Um,
have not done because I was yeah, damn.
I'm
Huh.
like,
It's a bummer.
yeah, no, in every there were a lot of new friends were joining
You gotta share the
during the
wealth.
second semester.
I've been on a good amount of times.
So yeah, but it's always glad to have you back. And to have a fun conversation about Gladiator II,
Yes.
which is already out now we're recording this after its release, but so it'll definitely be out by the time this episode comes out. So there will be a spoiler based discussion on that movie in a little bit. But first, Vivian, what have
Yes.
you been watching?
Um what have I been watching? Okay, well, I'm home for the Thanksgiving break, so I've been
Real.
watching stuff with my parents. Last night my
Rewatching stuff with your parents or first time watching with your
first time
parents?
watching, well, I showed my parents the movie The Nice Guys, which is like
Okay,
I
yeah,
love The Nice Guys so much
it's a
because
fun one.
I was like, they were like, let's watch something, and it's very hard to pick a movie that like both I think my mom and dad will watch because they have very very different tastes, and I think they liked it. I don't think my dad liked it that much, but he rarely likes anything that I choose, so that is
Yeah.
not, that's
Your
it was
dad's
never
a tough
gonna
nut to
happen.
crack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was never gonna happen. And then last night, Tim decides to start the series The Offer, which is like a couple
Okay,
year
the
old
the
series about the movie
Godfather,
The Godfather, and
right?
it's just fine. And but he's decided that we're gonna watch that all break, so
Oh
that's
my
what I'm gonna waste my
goodness.
time doing. So very
Oh my
excited.
god. I know my dad was. It's a very dad thing. My dad was really into The Offer when it came out. He was like, "Have you seen this?"
It's very dad, and it's very like I don't know. I'm such a fan of The Godfather and like Coppola in general, and I've read like a
Mhm.
couple biographies on him, and I already know it's the movie's gonna come out and it's gonna be successful, so it feels
Right.
very low stakes.
The
And it's just
stakes are, yeah.
yeah, it's the same way. I don't know if you saw Saturday Night that came out this year.
I did. I did.
Um, it's the same thing where like it's gonna be successful, it's gonna be the biggest thing of all time, so it's like
Right.
it feels a little I
Yeah,
don't
it does weaken the stakes a bit in that way. I think I definitely felt that with Saturday Night. Like I was telling you, I enjoyed Saturday Night. I do have to say, I enjoyed a lot of the performances in that
know. Oh
movie.
yeah, definitely.
And I don't know why Dylan O'Brien in that movie just like scratched an itch in my brain, and I was like, "You're very hot right now."
Yes, a mustache,
He's
the
playing young
70s.
Dan Aykroyd. I'm like, just all those things together like make no kind of sense in my head for me to feel the way I felt. But
But I'm
um,
happy for you.
yeah, I was like, um, okay, that's fun. I feel like Thanksgiving is the time to, well, Thanksgiving most of the time I just end up rewatching a bunch of shit.
Uh-huh.
Because it's like I've either already seen everything and then I'm just like kind of my family's just catching up with, or we're watching like our favorite like older stuff, you know. And so I'm trying to make sure I'm like gonna carve out time to watch new shit because I have to watch a bunch of
Mhm.
movies for one of my classes for a paper that I have to write. So I'm
Okay.
like, I have to like carve out time to even just watch those outside of the movies that I already know that because I know that we're trying to see Wicked. My mom really wants to see Gladiator. She like really wants to see it, and I was like,
Okay.
I'm warning you, it's violent. And she's not a big violence person, but she loves Denzel, so she's like, we need to find a time to go see Gladiator. But in terms of newer things that we both have been watching, the main movie that I've been wanting to discuss with you on the mic that we saw on Friday, Nosferatu,
It's so good. It's
is
unreal how good that
really,
movie is.
really fucking good. I am not. I mean, infamously, we know I'm not a big horror person. And going deeper within that, the only Robert Eggers movie that I have not seen is his quote unquote, or not quote unquote horror movie. I'm fairly certain it's a horror movie, but it's just in the horror. What I know is labeled as horror. I've not seen The Witch, but I have seen The Lighthouse, and I am an enjoyer. I'm not going to say a strong fan, which is, I was told, is kind of crazy of me. I know if I remember correctly, from Tim's perspective.
Yeah, I mean, not to make everything about my dad, but my dad, it's very hard for him to like a movie. I don't think he's liked a movie since Kubrick died, probably. And in the 21st century, I think he's liked two movies, which is The Lighthouse and then The Zone of Interest, which came out last year. Um,
Real.
Very similar, like just dark fucking shit, but
Right.
so I don't know, but very high praise from my
Right.
father. If
Yeah.
The Lighthouse.
No, yes, listen, this is elite praise.
Yeah,
Like,
that's how you know it. That's how you know it's fucking real.
right.
But I would even say I liked Nosferatu more than I liked The Lighthouse,
I
and
do too.
I
I think
think
Nosferatu is my favorite of, like, because I also don't really care for the Northman that much,
yeah,
but
no, it's
of
fine.
those ones that I've seen, Nosferatu is my most, like, my immediate favorite, I think.
Have you seen the original version of Nosferatu?
No, I haven't. I've not.
Um,
They were screening it a few times recently, and did y'all go to some? Was it
um,
Radiohead?
Harrison and I went to a screening of Nosferatu synced up with Radiohead's. It was like Kid A, and then I forget what the other album is.
Uh,
But it was very trippy and weird, and we had so much fun. But the movie's scary. Like the 1920s version, it's
really?
really freaky, and like the imagery's like really, really unsettling and scary. And so I can't
Mhm.
even believe what you know people back then were probably fucking freaking out. But
Right.
I yeah, no, it's so I was hesitant going into this one. There's a lot of fun little references. I think if you're a fan of the original film or even you just know like the iconic imagery, it's always fun to be like, "Ha, I know what you're referencing there."
Right.
But this one, I mean, it totally surpasses like in every way, shape, or form. It's just stunning. I have literally no problems with it. I originally did it 4.5 stars, and I'm like, why? This movie's so good. I think a standout is definitely Lily Rose Depp's performance. I
Yeah.
think you can
Yeah,
probably
for
attest to that
sure.
as well.
I think I had heard like slight rumblings of her starting to be in like awards conversation and like best actress conversation. I don't know if they'd campaign. I mean, she definitely is the lead, like
Yeah.
at least like female role in the movie. I think like they definitely kind of paint Nosferatu in a way as like the protagonist, which is kind of strange. Or at least he's like billed. Um, but her performance is so fucking strong, and there's like multiple scenes in the movie that are just so striking because of her performance.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Um, I mean, most of the performances in the movie, I think, are really. I mean, particularly hers and Bill Skarsgård as Nosferatu. I was like
It's
freaked
so
the
good.
fuck out.
It's freaky, so good.
Um, like, and compared to like him doing like Pennywise, like that's Penny, like it feels like literal child's play
Oh
compared
yeah.
to this movie, because I was my like go to when I'm watching a horror movie, or at least when I was younger. I'm better about it now, but I was like reverting back to it as I have like a finger in each ear, and then like my pinky's covering, like kind of like wavering both of my eyes, just in case something's about to happen. And like I said, I've gotten out of it, but like when we sat down to watch this movie, like it got to a point I was like, I was back in there. I was like, I needed
Mhm.
my comfort cage. I was like, what?
It's just like it's like uncomfortable. It's not like yeah, there's a couple jump scares or what like, he
Right.
looks weird or whatever, but it's just like you feel gross. Like I don't know. At
Yeah.
least I had like a visceral like ooh like I don't want to
Yeah.
be looking. The final shot, I think especially, which I don't want to spoil anything. I mean, it's hard. The movie's out for like
It's
what to
A
100
month.
years.
Right.
Kind of,
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
Dracula, the book has been out longer, so everyone kind of knows the plot. But I would say that this is a movie that I think you just got to go in blind. It's even if
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah. No,
beautiful.
I would fully agree. On the technical side of things, like every kind of element of the craft of the movie, I think is like stellar and succeeds.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I could see. I mean, it's never gonna happen, but I would love a world in which this wins Best Picture. I think it's
it
just
might get a nomination. I can see if Focus. Well, it'll depend because they have Nosferatu and Conclave, and so
so
they might be putting most of their eggs in the Conclave basket. But if they divide and conquer and like strategize enough, I think they could do a lot of damage with both. With both Conclave and Nosferatu. I just need them to like get past the fact that the Academy like hates horror movies.
yeah, yeah, it's
But
true.
I mean they like I know The Lighthouse was nominated for
Cinematography?
cinematography.
Yeah.
Not
Was
anything
Willem nominated
else.
that year? No, right?
Was him?
Willem?
No, he was in conversation, I remember, but he
He should have been.
wasn't.
That's a great performance.
Um I think the Lighthouse or from what I remember in 2018, that was one of the years I was really into the Oscars. But that was like a big movie that people were like, this is a lot of like it was snubbed in a lot of different um,
Hmm.
areas. I don't think The Northman got much attention, but that was I
It's
think
a
just
weaker
because that
movie.
movie's kind of just weak. Yeah. And then The Witch was his first movie, and that was like an A24 movie. And so like, they weren't doing
It
anything with
feels
it.
even
But
like Sundance-y even.
right. Well, again, I haven't seen it, but that's the feeling that I get from
Mhm.
it.
It's smaller scale. I mean, it's Anya Taylor-Joy's breakout? Question mark? Maybe that's
She is in
there's a little baby in
that.
it.
Huh. I
Um,
forgot. I'd heard about that, but I forgot about that.
um.
Um,
So it's interesting from that perspective. Which I know that she was supposed to be Lily Rose Depp's character.
hmm.
And I think Pattinson
That's
was supposed
also
to be
interesting.
Nosferatu, or maybe Nicholas Holt's character. But I know Pattinson was at one point in conversation in Nosferatu with
And you know what? I low key thought that he was gonna be in it.
He
I
should
feel
have.
like I feel
Put
like I didn't
Robert
even
Pattinson in
know
every
that.
movie ever, please.
Like I don't even know that I knew like had heard that he was supposed to be in it. I think
Mhm.
my brain just kind of auto placed him, and I was like, this seems like a something that Pattinson. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
probably just because the Lighthouse, and I
Mhm.
was just like, oh, it would make sense. But no, I don't think we're getting a Robert Pattinson movie until maybe 17. Is that
No, I don't
true?
think so. But he's signed on to like a fuck ton of movies, like that one with Zendaya. He's in the new Nolan movie.
Mm,
He just
yeah.
did a movie with
Is the
Jennifer
one with
Lawrence.
Zendaya not the Nolan movie?
No, different.
Okay, but they're both in both of them.
They're both in both of them. Yes.
Okay. Okay,
And
great.
I think
Oh,
that
the
one's a
movie that they
vampire
were
movie, is what I've heard.
a campfire movie.
No, a vampire. The new Nolan movie.
Oh,
I
the
wish it was
Nolan
a
movie's
vampire.
a vampire movie?
I will have to look it up. I'm pretty sure I saw maybe on Twitter or something like that that it was like 1920s vampire something. But maybe that's just like I dreamed it because that's like my dream. Um,
Maybe.
I
I'm
don't
like,
know.
that would be interesting.
I would
Nolan
love to see him in more of like a
doing
period-ish
horror.
piece.
Yeah,
Um,
like period horror is interesting. Well, it
I
depends on if he takes the horror route with vampire. Which okay is I think was it Josie that said this? I think after Nosferatu, it was either Josie or you,
uh-huh.
but someone said like I forgot that vampires are scary, or like I forgot that vampires could be scary. And it's like very true just because I just feel like
Mhm.
their image is I mean it's become iconic, but in the way that it's removed the fear from it, it's like people
It's
are like
very
obsessed with vampires,
sexualized.
right? Yeah.
But I would say this movie's really horny.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, this movie's super horny. I think if it's not Twilight
I
vampire,
mean the main conflict revolves around
yeah,
like romantic
right,
feelings.
yeah,
um
it's great.
So yeah, this movie's like without a doubt horny, but there's a point to it, and it really succeeds. I think
Mhm.
it's up there in the year for me. It's not my favorite still
Do you have a favorite?
of the year. It's been Nickel Boys
Nickel
since
Boys?
I
Yeah, I
saw
need to
it,
see
and
that.
so it's still kind of up there. But I talked about this last week. I saw Dune 2 for a second time recently, and that rewatch kind of brought it up. I did on the converse, I did rewatch Anora
Mm.
finally a couple of days ago, and I was hoping that it would like my feelings would grow or get stronger, and then like
Yeah.
it could move up the list because I mean when I was talking about it with Jack and Josie on the podcast, I was like, it's good, but there's issues at the core just in terms of the way that the movie's structured that I think
Mhm.
hurt it. And I'm like, I understand like her entire arc and everything that kind of goes into it, but I just needed to like re-experience it kind of with the reframed knowledge. And then I did, and I still felt the same. But, and also did not help that the friend that, I saw it with felt like identical to how I felt the first time.
Mhm.
Again, still good, but
Yeah.
I really just think that the energy is lost after Vanya like runs away. Like obviously
Really, because I
there's a point to
love the
it.
stuff with like the goons when they're walking. Like I think that's so fun.
No, it's really funny. I think it drags for a very long time because
Mhm.
I think it's two sequences back to back basically of them looking for him. And I when I saw this with Jack the first time, everything that we brought up, we were like basically then reconvincing ourselves that it was intentional. We were like, but like we're like that chunk of the movie, we're like the length of it is probably like you're probably meant to feel the tedium of it, like as Anora is as well, and even at the end of it, I had forgotten that chunk of them trying to find him is all one night.
Mhm.
And when they found it, for some reason, I don't know how I missed it the first time, but just when I watched it the second time, it clicked. I was like, the last 45 minutes has been one evening.
Mhm.
I'm like, compared to the first, like, definitely less than half, but a little bit less than half though. The first chunk of the movie is like, I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks or something. I don't know. It just like the balance of the movie just feels really off to me.
I can see that.
And I think that I was hoping that it wouldn't feel like that the second time, and it
Mhm.
like just kind of I just like really felt that the second time. But I still maintain I think it's really well written and it's really funny. Like it's thoroughly hilarious.
Very, very.
And I do enjoy the exploration of Annie's character. Um I just so it's one of those things I was like but it's still up there, and I definitely understand the appeal for sure.
I think it's fun. I like it a lot, but
Yeah, no.
it's not like my favorite movie of the year necessarily. Which I'm trying
Okay.
to think what that is. It's maybe Challengers.
Challengers is like my second right now. I'm like, I don't want to like spoil too much my top 10 list, but also it's gonna change. So
That's
like because I haven't seen everything, but I'm trying to, or this year I've been trying to keep myself in the habit of updating it like as I go,
Mhm.
instead of like waiting until the end and potentially forgetting about something. Even though Letterboxd helps me like, look
Yeah.
at just everything that I've seen. But still, it's like now every time I see something, the whole list changes.
Yeah. That's
Like, and then things get reordered and shifted and da 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 da. But yeah,
yeah, I think it's really great.
one more movie that I saw, and then we can get into Gladiator for time reasons. That is not on my top, anywhere near my top 25 list for the year, is Moana 2.
Oh,
Um,
mama.
this is honestly, I was very disappointed and
That sucks. I'm sorry.
underwhelmed, considering how much I genuinely really enjoy and love the first Moana movie. I think it's really good. It's really fun. It's really pretty. The music is good. It gets me emotional. I like. How old were we when that came out? I was 2016. So what? 12, 13, something like that. Um, it was like it caught me right before I got out of it. Right
Mhm.
before I got out of like the mood of like those kinds of movies. So I do have a soft spot for that movie. I mean, and I'll still watch it today and enjoy it. It wasn't like just a then thing. But so because of that, there was like sleeper excitement for it that didn't like wake up until I got to the screening. It was at the El Capitan, and it ended up being the premiere, and I did not know that it was going to be the Los Angeles premiere, because none of the correspondence that I got mentioned premiere at all. It just said critic screening.
That's awesome.
And I've been to a critic screening at the El Capitan before, so I didn't think anything of it. And then I get there
Mhm.
and I see hella people and will call, and like everybody's got lanyards and there's like all this shit put up. I was like, mind
That's so
you, I'm
fun. I
like
love that.
wearing sweatpants and like my Beyonce hoodie, and like Josie, I like picked her up from class, and we're like should we have like we were like, are we underdressed? Like, should we like but it's just a bad movie. Like and it's the writing is dumbed down so much. Not that the first movie is like, is advanced by any stretch of the imagination, but it at least doesn't feel like a movie that's like actually pandering to like 7-year-olds. The sense of humor is much different. It has a more immature sense of humor, strangely. There's also a weird like meta layer to some of the humor, which doesn't really work for me. Like they were like funny moments, but it's like, why did they just make that joke? Like, that's like weird.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the way that they introduce like some really important characters that you'd think would be in the first movie is weird, and also it forgets about characters that it has. There's a lot of unnecessary characters that are like always there.
I feel like Disney
And
does that a lot, at least lately.
yeah, you said Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, especially with sequels.
Yeah. No. And I think there's ways to do it. I mean, like, I love like the addition of like Jessie in Toy Story 2, and I think like
Hmm.
that works really well. But like, I don't know, I wasn't a fan of Inside Out 2, and it's like, I don't like why are we doing
Yeah,
all this? Like, calm down. But
yeah. I liked Inside Out too, but I think just because I liked the first one so much,
yeah.
it had a lot going for it. But it's not very good. It is immediately much more dated than the first movie.
Mhm.
There's one joke about like somebody spilling tea in
Oh, yeah.
it, and it feels like such a like they wrote it with the intent of, they were like, this is gonna be funny right now.
Mm.
And I'm like, not just this is funny. And I'm like, that's
Yeah.
but yeah, I would agree though. I mean, I just think Disney, they need to get their shit together.
Mhm.
It's kind of fuck Disney, but they at least used to have good movies to back it up, and now I'm like, y'all low key don't even. So
Definitely. Yeah, it's crazy. Times they are changing, I guess.
yeah,
Speaking of
but
times they are changing, I can't wait for the new Bob Dylan movie. It's the most anticipated. Just want to let
shout out
everyone.
to Complete Unknown. Um, yeah, I'll be seeing that soon. I was telling Josie, I'm seeing it. I think now next week. It's next week when my screening is. Um, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for that. An interesting tie-in between that movie. I read today that originally Timothy Chalamet was in conversation to be
Oh, I
the
saw
lead in
that.
Gladiator and not Paul
So
Mescal.
weird. So weird.
Which someone was like, could you imagine a twink going into battle?
Yeah, it was very strange. I don't
Like that is so. I ultimately am glad that they went with Paul Mescal, even though I wouldn't say that he's necessarily the standout of
know.
this movie. But before we
They don't
get
give him a lot to work with.
right,
I feel
right,
like so. I don't know.
but well, we're gonna get deep into that. Um, now. Let's talk about Gladiator 2. For the audience, if we need an explanation of Gladiator 2, it is the sequel to the actually like insanely popular, or at least just like insanely culturally relevant, first Gladiator film from 2000, directed by Ridley Scott. That film starred Russell Crowe and Joaquin Phoenix, as y'all might remember. This movie is the follow up to that. It is about a man named Lucius who, if you've seen the first movie, you know that Lucius is Russell Crowe's son, but the way that
Do
this
you?
movie present, yeah, like you know that he has a child named Lucius.
But I thought the whole okay.
No, exactly. No, okay. So that's what I'm about to get into. The way that this movie presents it is that it's like a secret. Like he
Yeah.
doesn't know that he's his dad, but like we know that he's his dad if you've seen the first movie. Um, so that's why I'm like in none of the, like, if you look at official plot descriptions or synopses, it's not going to mention that he's his son. But there's like multiple scenes where he's talking to a child named Lucius, and he's like, you know, like he has a son named Lucius. And also, like, you kind of are immediately supposed to expect and understand that Connie Nielsen is his mother,
Mhm.
even though they don't outright tell you that it is. But her like obsession with him is obviously rooted in the fact that she thinks that he's her child. And so the way that this movie operates is interesting. But again, we'll get to that. But yeah, it's about him, and if the gladiator world rules, there's like gladiators, which are just fighters that are slaves, and like, but if you're a gladiator, you have the chance to like win your freedom or whatever. But this movie is like about him with Denzel Washington, who kind of takes him under his wing, quote unquote, to like be like his champion so that he can, you know, kill the people in charge of the Roman army because they like, you know, burned down his town and killed his wife. And yeah, where do you want to start with this movie? There's so many parts to it, and like it honestly didn't fully go into my head how many parts there were until I was just trying to describe it now. And every time I started talking, I was like, oh, I feel like there's another thing that I have to say.
I've seen it twice now.
Okay, yes.
Um,
So I've only seen it the time that we saw it, like was that 2? No, it was a week ago now. A little over a week ago, we went to a special screening at the Chinese theater, and had a lot of fun. Okay, well, that's where I'll start with this movie. I think this movie's a lot of fun.
oh yeah.
It is. I enjoyed the hell out of watching it. Obviously, the experience, you know, being the Chinese theater, knowing Denzel was in the audience, like, you know, just no, like, you know, all, and that was actually my first time at the IMAX screen at the Chinese theater. So like, you know, extra excitement for that reason. And it's so much fun. I think you probably said it, but we were talking about it like right after it finished. We were like, it is like an upper echelon, like the best kind of popcorn movie.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Top Gun Maverick-esque, you know.
right. But Top Gun Maverick, I do think is a better movie. I think this movie has like some holes. But again, it's kind of comparing it to the first movie, which again we'll get more into. But what were your like feelings about the movie like immediately?
My feelings were just kind of like, that was fun. Let's go do something else. You know,
Right.
it's escapism at its finest. It's attraction cinema. I mean, it's what Scorsese's talking about when he says theme park movies, and that's not a bad thing. It's like it's
Right.
enjoyable and it's fun, but I'm not like thinking about it a long while after.
Right.
I just like looking at Paul Mescal's face, so that is one thing.
Right.
There's
Right.
that
Those, a
aspect.
lot of those close-ups, I'm like, and God bless whoever's idea it was to fill that movie with close-ups, knowing it was going to be an IMAX.
Oh yeah,
there was
oh
a gay in the room.
for sure. Yeah, it's just fun. I mean, like such a history nerd.
Mhm.
And so like Roman Empire stuff's always been really interesting to me, and I don't know. Just think it's fun. It's not a movie that I'm gonna probably watch like at home when I'm like,
Mhm.
ooh, what should I watch tonight? But it's
Like
fun. I think it's
Gladiator
worth it.
2,
Go
like
see
no.
it. Yeah, like go see it. It's worth it. It's fun. It's just a good time.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth it for the theater experience. And that's what I've been telling people, because people ask, they're like, how is it? And I'm like, you're going to love it. I was like, you are going to enjoy the fuck out of it. Like, I am going to recommend that you go just for the sake of going.
Definitely.
I then add the caveat. I'm like, will you think it's great? Maybe not. And why is that? I think the story is way weaker than the first one.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It
Well, my question is, I thought the whole point. Also, I kind of dozed off in the middle of the first one. I thought the whole point was like he's I'm going back to my wife and my child, and they're like who I do it all for, like, and but then he has a bastard child with not his wife. Does that not like mess up what? I don't know.
there's a lot of nuance to it. I think you probably did miss a good chunk. I mean, the first, but that's what I'm saying. The first movie I think is so good because there's so much in it. Like it's really it's entertaining on like several levels.
Yeah.
And I watched it just like on my big TV at home, and I was like, this probably would have gone bananas like if I saw this like with a crowd like in a theater, just because like yes the action and just like the coolness of it, but also a lot of the like ins and outs of the story I think are just well done.
Yeah.
I mean the first movie won Best Picture. And also several other Oscars on top of that. Not Best Director. I think Soderbergh won for Traffic that year. Which is interesting because Traffic is just not a very memorable movie to me at all.
Yeah.
But regardless, the first movie is just it's so much better. This movie, I didn't feel much of a connection to many of the story beats outside of what Denzel was involved in.
Oh yeah, he's the most intriguing character by a landslide.
He is like fucking magnetic in this movie. I don't know what it was
really
like. That meme or picture of the guy who's like sitting up in his chair. It's like you do the lean forward. Like, every time he walked, I mean, low key, his character enters the scene the same way every time, or almost every time. And you also see most of the scenes of him and Paul Mescal are just like in a jail cell. And so like the scenes always start with him walking into a jail cell and sitting down. And it's like 8 or 9 times he might do like, but then like, outside of that, there's like the scene in the Senate, after he, like I said, we can spoil it. That's after he decapitates
Joseph Quinn.
Yeah, Joseph Quinn, right? And then when he like stabbed that guy in the ear, when he stabbed the other emperor in the ear,
I looked away when
I saw you look away, but that shit, I was like, oh, like that was like that brought out like the man in me, the guy. I was like, oh shit, like, but no, a lot of the nuances of his performance, though, I am just really a fan of, and I think that he's just so fucking good. Like if he was not in this movie, I don't know that I'd say that it's good. Like I'd probably still think it's fun. I also do think a lot of my having fun was watching Denzel. Yeah. Though. So I'm like, again, if he wasn't in this movie, I don't know where I'd land on this.
Yeah. I don't know. It just feels I don't think any other character is intriguing, and we don't even get that much about Denzel's like backstory. That's the one thing is like you don't know that much about this guy, but he's interesting and he's, I mean, but it's just, Denzel's a great actor. Paul Mescal's a great actor too, but one of them is much more, I'm not going to compare those two acting skills because, it's not really.
just different skill sets entirely.
Denzel is like, because you don't know who this guy really is, and then watching him like climb up the ranks and you kind of seeing his master plan the whole time. It's so fun to watch. I mean, I love it. It's so
the arc of his character is so interesting and honestly was fully unexpected for me. Yeah. Just because, I'm always like how things are advertised versus like how they actually are. It's like, you never know if someone's actually like I feel like you would think that Connie Nielsen is in this movie about 3 times as much as she actually is.
Oh yeah.
Um, but the way that Denzel was marketed, like I was kind of expecting not like a cameo, but I wasn't expecting him to be like the antagonist.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Me too. I thought he was gonna like die in the first 5 minutes. To be honest with you,
yeah,
like
like I thought it was just gonna be like he was just gonna be like the king or something.
oh for sure. Because I'm like, oh, Denzel's in this movie. He's probably wanted to show up to set one day and then go home, which is like valid. Like do that, get your check, like whatever.
Right,
But then like the final battle sequence being about him and like everything.
right.
So it's
Like
great.
which that was so much fun. Ultimately ended up being a little bit underwhelming because I feel like there were more shocking moments than his hand getting cut off. Like
Yeah.
already, like we had already experienced more like
No, it's
like
great.
more shocking things than that. So when it happened, I was like, it definitely hit because it was like, oh my god, he got him. But I'm like, in terms of the whole like go big or go home kind of thing, like you already went way bigger.
Mhm.
Like a decapitation happened like an hour into the movie.
Yeah, and like
So
Paul like crosses his swords like that.
right,
Like I said. Also,
right.
I love the sequence in the arena that's with sharks and stuff.
The water, yeah.
That's very fun. And I missed that the first time I was in the bathroom.
Yeah. That is true. That
I
is
was
true.
like, oh, this is fun. But I think that's more testament to the fact that it is such like attraction cinema that it's
Right,
like, oh my god, this is the best part because it was the one part like I didn't see. You know,
right.
I don't know. I think it'll fade the more and more you watch it, in my
It
opinion,
definitely will.
just because you know
Um,
what's gonna happen and you know what the big moments are. So
right. But I think I mean, hopefully, or maybe there might be moments that will, because what also is very interesting about the first movie is that like it's quotable, which is such a weird movie to
it's
have. Like
iconic.
so
It's
many
so
quotes from
iconic,
it are in like, are you not entertained? Like what? Like the fact that that's from
legendary,
fucking Gladiator. Like and
legendary. Yeah,
the thumbs up, thumbs down thing. Like you kind of people generally kind of know like what that is referring to.
it's
Um,
referenced so much in
right.
media. I feel like it's probably referenced in like Shrek. Like I don't know. Like it's just one of those like things that like I feel like is just a part of pop culture, and you don't
Right.
think of like a 3-hour movie about the Roman Empire starring Russell Crowe from 2000. Like it doesn't seem
Right.
like the type, but it
Right.
really hit a cultural hot button, which I don't know. People like violence, I guess, but I don't know.
They do. I don't know. And they said men always think about the Roman Empire. I guess maybe men just always think about Gladiator.
I guess some do. I don't
Which
know.
I understand. I do have to say, my Letterboxd review for this movie, I was like, I am sexually attracted to several men in this
Oh yeah,
movie.
people look really good in this one.
This movie is for the gays.
Yeah,
The first movie is for the straights, but this movie
yeah. Oh my god,
is,
literally. And
is
I like
for.
even that well, I think we discussed this and it's just a known fact that like back in Roman Empire, ancient Greece days, like being gay like wasn't a thing. It was just
Right.
like what
It
happened.
was just
No one
yeah.
thought anything of it. It was just
Yeah,
normal.
no.
And
There's undertones to almost every character. I mean, even to the point of Macronus like saying like, women aren't always my taste.
yeah. Yeah,
Like
and I love that. And that's not in the first Gladiator, which is just proof
mm-mm.
to like the times they are changing. I guess it was more acceptable to show on screen, but
They did cut the kiss out, which okay, that the
I
d-
would have liked that. I think that would have been cool.
dialogue, what's the whatever the term is, but just the conversation around that like everybody in that movie, what they've said about it is just so funny to me because Denzel's press tour for this movie has been something for the books. I think every interview that he does, he's saying like some of the craziest shit he's ever said, and he just like
Mhm.
doesn't give a fuck. But after he like said that he had the kiss, I heard that, or Connie Nielsen, someone asked Connie Nielsen about it, and Ridley Scott, like it. The fact they've asked so many people about it, and I'm like, I can very clearly see what scene it was, and I can honestly see where it was supposed to. I would believe that they used like footage from that same take, like like it's so obvious what scene it was in, and it's like once he said it, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, he probably kissed him there, which I think could have added something. I don't know. I mean, he kissed him a lot. Like he was kind of kissing him like all over in that one scene. But that scene is so good, I think, and a lot of like Denzel's performance in that scene in particular, um, is he's like, I own your house.
It's a great line
I'm
delivery.
asking for your loyalty. Like, oh my god, he's so good. I think that I'm a little annoyed at how much CGI there is and how apparent it is. I mean, obviously, you know, Ridley Scott's 86, and like when he like starts making a movie, he's obviously trying to make it as fast as possible so that he can finish it and not potentially like die. I think it's very clear they shot this movie in like 50 days.
That's crazy. That is so insane.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. But and so because of that, it's like, yeah, he's probably leaning a lot more on like technical stuff. I mean, he's always been like ahead of like, I mean, ahead of times in the sense that like, you know, he's never been afraid of using technology like in his movies. It's not like he's never used CGI before this time. It's just like so prevalent and apparent because it's like all of the water CGI and like all the boat. I mean, like the sets of the boat like aren't, but like the boats on the water and like all the sharks and all that shit are. And it's like I feel like you can tell and feel that a little bit. And just because like so much of the movie is that, or at least like a lot of the fighting and battle sequences are, I still think a lot of the fight sequences are really fun though and good.
Definitely. I think that's when it's the strongest. That's when you can't look away from the screen.
Right. And that's when like the IMAX of it all helps. I think it would have worked for the film better if it was filmed in IMAX. And they could use the you know, all of the inches of that screen.
Yeah.
Particularly the scenes when they're in the arena. Like I was like, I was like, big it up. I was like, like in my head, I was like, big up the screen. Like I was like, you know, I want to like make it massive. You know, like let us feel like, you know, go full blown immersion. Like fuck these black bars. You know, not that like, you know, that sounds like Hunger Games like trained my head to just expect when you enter an arena the aspect ratio changes. But
and that's what Hunger Games like go. Those are the best. Don't even fucking get me started on those. I can talk about those for maybe 10 hours. And I have, and I will, and I continue to do so.
Oh my goodness. But it's like those moments, like I remember those moments because of that, and they work so well.
That's why the theatrical experience is so fun, and that's what you get in a movie like Gladiator, and you won't get it when you're at home in your TV. So, yeah, right. I don't know.
I definitely like if someone told me like they like pirated Gladiator 2, or they just watched it on the TV. Like if they told me now, like if this was like next year, like after, and they're like, oh yeah, I just watched it, like I wouldn't give a fuck. But like
I don't think anyone's gonna be watching this in a year. That's the one thing.
Right. I would agree with that. But I'm just like, I'd be like, you're doing yourself a disservice. Like you're actively going to dislike the film because you're watching it on a TV.
Yeah.
like you're going to be wanting to watch it on a bigger screen. And it's going to hurt your experience of it. I think the first one is better still.
Yeah. I think Russell Crowe's a more intriguing protagonist than Paul Mescal's character is.
This is very true. You had said, I can't remember if the mic was on or not when you had said that the movie doesn't give him much to work with. Oh yeah, you did. This was like maybe 15 minutes ago. You said that. But that's what I mean by the story's weaker. Like there's just less substance in, I think, almost everything, because Russell Crowe's character had so many more nuances to him. Yeah, it was just a lot more. I use magnetic to describe Denzel in this movie, but it makes the character a lot more magnetic. You know, him being complex, and that I think is just what was missing from most of the characters. I mean, I still think like I wouldn't even say that Connie Nielsen's character in the first one is like great, or like you know, developed well.
I think she plays a very different role also.
Very true.
I don't know. She felt a little just more like, ooh, this is again. I didn't really finish it to be honest with you, but
Yeah.
it's like she feels more just like the ooh seductress, like mysterious. She's here to be beautiful. In this one, she was a little more like I think she was more active in this one, but
I
in a
think she
very
was way
different.
more active in this
Yeah, she was
one.
less interesting despite being more active.
Right, right. Yeah, I would fully agree. I mean, obviously, there's just a different. She has a different relationship with the protagonist in this movie, so I mean, she kind of
Mhm.
can't be sexy seductress when it's her son.
Yeah, definitely.
But um, and in that, that is a an evolution of the character, and like, a step up, just because like in her, the characterization in the first movie is kind of like, regressive, or just very like typical of how
Yeah.
Hollywood movies depict women. But um like you said, she's just so much less interesting in
Yeah.
this movie, even though, and I think you see her more than you do like in this movie than you do in the first. Maybe still you could. I think there's a chance you could. She's more present in the, like,
Mhm.
she has more screen time in this movie than in the first one, even. But
Yes.
like you said, she's still just less interesting. I do wonder, is the script writer the same? Is it the same
Let me look.
for Gladiators 1 and 2? I know that what I do think is interesting and a fun like tidbit was during the Q&A when Connie Nielsen was talking about how like a lot of the crew members from the same, like even down to like the grips, were like the same from the first movie working on this movie.
Mhm. I think that's very
And
sweet.
yeah, and I think
What I'm
she or
seeing, no,
Denzel.
different writers, but the same writers also wrote iconic movies such as Les Miserables, a legendary Sweeney Todd,
Okay.
nothing but legends in this writing. Hugo, Rango. I
Oh my
mean,
god.
you're cooking. Uh, but
The
this new
ghost.
one, let's see. It does feel
This
like
is
they're
this
very
is
much just like I don't know what the word is to say this in a not like rude way, but like it kind of feels like they're just like sucking the dick of Gladiator 1 a lot of the time, which is
yeah,
it feels very much like, hey, you liked this in the first one when they did this. Let's show
right,
you the exact same thing, but
right.
just worse. The writer also wrote Napoleon, so I don't know if that tells you.
Okay, okay. Is this David Scarpa, the guy who wrote Gladiator 2, or the people that wrote Gladiator 1?
The people that wrote Gladiator 2 wrote Napoleon.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
David Scarpa, Napoleon. Yes. So
Okay, so then I guess it's the writer, and Hans Zimmer, I think, is the only department head that they said didn't return.
yeah, I
Um
wonder why. That's such a classic theme.
yeah, yeah. I was who was I talking with about this? This was like maybe yesterday. Um Oh, my friend that I saw Anora with,
Mhm.
he like loves the score of the first Gladiator movie. Like
It's very good.
he like knows the names of the tracks.
Oh, that's curious.
um, and so he was telling me that he was like, yeah, the score. I can't remember if he said that he liked it or was a fan, because we were mostly just talking about how much he liked the score of the first movie. But I think they probably used a piece of it. I mean, they probably definitely could have, but
Mhm.
I think he was saying there was a piece from the first movie that he recognized that like got him excited, like in the moment of it. But yeah, I do wonder if Hans was just like no, or if he was busy. But I feel like if Ridley Scott is coming here to ask, it's probably, if you can, it's probably because you're busy. Like I highly doubt he like wouldn't have wanted to do it.
Maybe Dune 2?
Yeah, yeah, maybe. But
I
then he ended up, he apparently isn't even eligible.
know. It's so strange, but whatever.
Which I feel
Leave
like,
more room open for other people, I guess.
right, right, yeah, Resner and Ross for challengers.
Please. Such an awesome
Hopefully.
score.
But yeah, I think that is a good place to kind of end with Gladiator 2. What do you rate it?
I gave it a 3.5. I think it's like fun. I'm not going to see it again. I would say maybe leaning more towards a 3. I don't think this is a bad movie by any means. You can tell there's a lot of love in this. I think the
Huh.
performances are all really good. I think it's just fun. Again, it's like Top Gun. It's attraction cinema.
Right.
It's Mission Impossible. It's like oh my gosh, this is happening on screen. I'm having a good time. And then
Right.
you leave the theater and you go home and you're happy that you had a good time for a couple
Right.
hours.
You eat
So
dinner.
yeah, no, exactly. So it's very fun. What about you?
Yeah, I landed on a 3.5 as well. My immediate rating was a 4-star just because, like, enjoyment factor.
Yeah, it's
Um,
really fun. Above anything, it's just fun.
yeah. But definitely, yeah, 3.5. It's just weaker. I mean, a 7 out of 10 is still a good score. And I still think it is, like, a good quality movie. Like, I'm not gonna tell you that, like, it's bad. Like, the words Gladiator 2 is bad, I don't think is gonna leave my mouth.
Yeah, no.
But it's just like we said, it is the best kind of popcorn movie.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, that's Gladiator 2 in a nutshell. It's a movie.
It's a
It's a
movie.
movie.
It's a quote,
You're gonna
Mr.
have fun.
Styles.
Denzel is real. I'm
Watch
gonna say
it
this
just for
again.
Denzel.
Denzel
He's worth
is
it.
amazing.
I
Like,
hope he
you're
gets a
like,
nomination for it.
that is going to be what I remember about it. Like,
Oh yeah.
if I think about it, my first thought's going to be Denzel was so good in that.
Hmm.
Um, and so, yeah, I hope that I mean, I think definitely name recognition. I mean, Denzel wise, but also Gladiator wise.
Hmm.
I think he'll be able to eke out a Oscar nom for
I
it.
hope so. He's so good in it.
Yeah, literally, he's
I
the
don't think
movie.
any other performances will, though. I don't think Paul will.
No, no, and probably not even for Golden Globe. I mean, because it would have to be in the drama category, and I'm like, I don't think,
Yeah, no.
yeah. Um, but Denzel definitely. I'd be interested to see how it shakes out, because in terms of supporting actor performances, I don't know if there's a strong one.
Hmm. I
Um,
really like Kieran Culkin in A Real Pain. That would
He's
probably
good.
be my first.
That's a strong one. I will say that movie is interesting though, because I like when I was watching it, he was actively pissing me off for like most of it. And obviously I
Yeah.
think that's supposed to be the point.
Hmm.
Um but like, it was, for a while, it was keeping me from liking his performance just because I was so mad at him.
Hmm.
But there's reasoning to it. Like, it all it, it comes to make sense, obviously, but it's just, and so it succeeded in that way.
I think
You
that's a
know.
really sweet film, but that's a podcast for another day, I guess.
Yes, yes, yes. To wrap up, is there a movie that you are looking forward to, and do you have a movie to recommend?
Um, as I said, I'm really looking forward to the Bob Dylan movie. Bob Dylan is like that's my boy. Like he's like my favorite artist of all time. I've seen every
Uh-huh.
documentary. I've read every book.
Real.
And I love Timothy Chalamet. I think it's gonna be really great. Maybe I have a thing for boys from Minnesota. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm obsessed with Dylan, so I'm very excited for that. And then I would recommend the movie The Brutalist, which comes out on Christmas. It's
Mm.
probably my favorite movie of the year so far. So if you guys have a chance to see The Brutalist, go see it in theaters. It's like 4 hours, but it's very much worth it. That's my recommendation.
Okay, I think The Brutalist is actually what I'm looking forward to.
Mhm.
Um, Queer most immediately, just
Oh my
because
god,
that's
yeah,
like
me
coming
too.
out like today or tomorrow. I'm probably gonna try and see it tonight, low key. But The Brutalist is like one of the big ones that I still have to see and have been wanting to see for a minute. Just because I've been hearing amazing things. I've been hearing some criticisms a la um Israel opinions.
Yeah,
Um,
I have heard that too. I think it's like there's just a character that like moves to Israel in it.
uh,
It's not like a spoiler at all. I don't think it's inherently Zionist at all, but maybe
uh,
I'm wrong. I don't know. I didn't get that from the movie. I felt it was more like it's a classic immigrant story, and I don't think
mm,
that's Zionist in nature.
yeah. Um,
But I
yeah,
don't know.
no, I'm still
He-
I'm still very interested to see. It looks gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
Um,
It's beautiful.
and I know I want to try, like, I think there's gonna be 70 millimeter like engagements that they're gonna be doing. I don't know
Mhm.
if they're gonna do it roadshow style.
It's worth
Um,
it. I hope in San Francisco.
but
I would love
I
to go.
I wanna try and see it on 70 if I can. It's gonna be interesting because I'm gonna be on the other side of the country
Hmm.
Christmas time. But hopefully I can get a screening before that. My recommendation, okay, I'm gonna do two. One is actually another Denzel movie. It's a Spike Lee film
Oh,
called He Got Game. It's from the '90s. It's their third. Yeah, it was their third movie they did. But it is about a man, Denzel, who is incarcerated, and his son is the like number one like top basketball prospect like for the NBA. Like he's in high school, and the like warden of the jail lets him out on like a temporary week release so that he can to convince his son to play basketball for like a certain school. But you know, obviously his relationship with his son is very strained and the warden doesn't know that, so he basically has to get back like close with his son, and then on top of that like convince him like to go to like a specific college and like, you know, for his life and stuff. But it's like, you know, will he not necessarily sacrifice his life, but will he like almost like permanently alter or edit his life for the sake of you know, saving his father that he doesn't like, but he's still his father.
mhm.
It's a very nuanced movie. I think there are parts of it that don't need to be in it, and a few of the female characters are not written very well.
Classic.
um but and I think my Letterboxd review about it, I was like, there's an argument that could be made that Spike isn't the best at writing women, and this movie would probably be
I don't
Exhibit
think many men
A.
are, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Just let women
Right.
write
Yeah,
movies
it's
for
just
women,
not your
please.
perspective. Yeah. And I think it in that way it's a good thing that most of his films, She's Gotta Have It is probably the only one that's off top of my head. Most of his films aren't focused on women. Or at least they aren't like taken from a woman's perspective,
Mhm.
which is just, you know, just because that's not his lane. But what I did say, I said the men in his movies are often some of the most complex and layered characters I've like,
Yeah.
you know, experienced, and this movie is no different. Yeah, like I said, there's story beats that are unnecessary, but it's really a film about fathers and sons, and how, because like also the thing is he's a failed like basketball star, Denzel is, and so the other layer of the fact that his son is kind of getting the notoriety that he like couldn't
Mhm.
get, and he also like taught his son how to play basketball, but like that is kind of what causes the rift in their relationship. But it's like basketball is kind of what's it's a really good movie, I think. But so that's my first recommendation, and my other one is a movie called To Sleep with Anger, that I bought on Criterion during the last flash sale. um it's a movie about this guy that shows up at this house. Well, the family is the center of the story, but the story starts when this guy shows up who's like an old friend,
Mhm.
and kind of you learn more and more about like how he was involved in their life, or at least just like where it like old is in like haven't seen him in 30 plus years type. But basically he comes in and then just like things start changing, where things start happening. But the movie has a very spiritual sense about it,
Ooh, I love
and
that.
like a mystical kind of sense, in the way that like, you know, it's like his spirit is kind of altering the energy of the house. And it's like the family kind of having to like, you know, slowly deal with that. It's kind of a slow burn, a little bit of a movie, but it all kind of builds up to this climax scene that is so fucking good. um
I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. I'm
and
intrigued.
it's really good. It's Danny Glover is the main actor. Shirley Lee Ralph is in it. There's a few other performers, I can't remember their names, but there's a few other performers that have bigger characters than like Shirley Lee Ralph does, and I can't remember their names. But
Mhm.
a lot of the performance choices are really good. I think the director of this movie did a movie called Killer of Sheep, if you've heard of that or possibly had to watch it in a class. I've not seen it, but I know it was a big. A lot of people watched it in a class. The friends that I watched this with had seen Killer of Sheep because they watched it in a class.
Mm-hmm.
And that movie they said that they like, but it's a slow burn. Like, it's really slow. And I know it's a short movie. It's like an hour 20, but they said it's really slow. But this movie they enjoyed a lot more. And I really liked it as well. Yeah, it's like Saltburn if it wasn't gay and it was black and it was good. And also about like older people. Because everybody that is relevant is like at least like 30 something. But yeah, so those are my two recommendations. I think we're at the end here. For my listeners, if you would like to follow the podcast, you can follow the podcast on Twitter at the OTR Andrew Pod. You can follow me on Instagram at OTR with Andrew. You can follow me on Letterboxd at AndyMike1209. Vivian, would you like to plug yourself?
Yeah, my Letterboxd is V_V_AN. My name without any I's, because I'm not a narcissist at all. You got it too late.
It was two layers of laughing. I was like, oh, like she made a joke, and then I got it, and I was like, ah.
It's my sense of humor. It's so elevated, obviously. Follow me on Letterboxd because I have the funniest reviews of all time when I write reviews, which is not very often. So get excited when I have
real. Yes, thank you so much for joining. We will be back. We as in the podcast in sometime in a couple weeks. You soon as well, I think, probably, because we're getting towards the end of the year, and so we're getting to where we're gonna start doing like roundups and like, you know, Oscars talks and like top 10s and that kind of stuff. So yeah, stay tuned for all of that coming later in December. But, you know, thank you for listening, and we'll hope to see you next time.
Yay. Thank you for having me, Andrew. I appreciate it, and I miss you.
Yes, I miss you. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to listeners and to you too, Andrew.
Yes, you as well. All right. Bye.
Bye.